This is my discussion slash review for Found 2023 series starring Shanola Hampton and Mark Paul Gosselaar. Now, I gotta be 100%. Kidnap victim turned kidnapper. That's interesting. Let's talk about it.
I will be the best, headed out for change, I just started on my quest, yeah, the world will know my name.
Right off rip, I can tell this show is gonna be it, bruh. Episode 1, aka the pilot, came in swinging, man. Dude, from the very beginning, when we see Shanola Hampton, aka Gabby Mosley, starting off the episode, we see her saving one of these missing kids, and her whole team, her crisis management team, we see them saving a kid from the rip, and we see it's going to be a whole lot of political stuff as well, but that's the kind of climate we're in now. I mean, you can't have all this political stuff taking place in everyday life and then not have it brought into shows and TV shows you're watching. Sure, all of this is fiction, but it's kind of evident and reverts to real life as well. So you got to have a little political aspect in there, and the kind of political aspect they're bringing into this show, I'm totally okay with it. Now, there's been a bunch of other shows that had the whole crisis management team doing this type of thing before, and there's also a show that dropped earlier this year that was dealing with missing people and everything. But this show, it kind of combines a bunch of the other shows and that other alert missing person show, whatever. It kind of combines all of the good aspects of all those shows and puts it into one show. But it also takes and puts a spin on it because, like I said in my opening, a kidnapped victim becomes the kidnapper. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of flips the script a little bit. But let me read the synopsis and then we'll just dive into this episode. The synopsis says, each year over 600,000 people are reported missing in the U.S., but not all cases receive the proper attention. Gabby Mosley and her crisis management team make sure that there's always someone looking out for the forgotten missing people. Now, very simple and cut straight to the point. Crisis management, missing people, and they find the missing people. Now, watching this episode, we see that Gabby Mosley and her team, they find the people that are kind of swept under the rug or that's not on the radar or whatever, the people that nobody really knows is missing, you know what I'm saying, whether they be white, black, blue, purple, green, or whatever, or because they're not high profile or anything like that, they find those missing people. Now, we know in the world that we live in today, black, brown, they pretty much go missing a lot of times and people don't know that. But there's a bunch of white people, just because they're not high priority or high profile, they tend to get kind of swept under the rug as well. So Gabby's team finds all those missing people that people don't really think are newsworthy. You know what I'm saying? Because it was very evident in this episode as well, because we have a senator's daughter that's missing, but we also have this, I want to say she was 14, teenage black girl that's missing as well. And this entire episode, we see Gabby trying to fight for justice for her because her brother told her that she was missing, but she's kind of getting a runaround because of the political aspect, because of a senator's daughter's missing. So that's high profile news. And one aspect I loved about this episode in the pilot was because when she started talking about it, she asked them, well, does anybody know who this girl is? Oh yeah, that's the senator's daughter. Oh wow, we all know her. You know, her hashtag is trending all over Twitter right now. You know, find her. But nobody could tell us who the 14-year-old black girl was that was missing. Nobody knew her name, nothing. Sure, she's not high profile, but I will say, man, they made all of this so intricate. It was so involving. You were really captivated in what was going on. Sure, from the trailer and the clips, we came because, like I said, the kidnapped victim became the kidnapper. We knew that going into this, but to see the way that it unfolded, it was 20 years ago, and her and, you know, the chick that she pays for law school, I don't know their names quite yet, so I had to pull up their names. Lacey Quinn, the chick that was kidnapped with her, they kind of both grew up now, and you know, Gabby runs the team and she pays for Lacey to go to college, and they're together now. They're connected in each other's lives because they were bounded 20 years ago when they were both kidnapped victims. Love it, man. Now that's a story for you right there. That's a spin on something, man. I'm really digging it. And everybody else on the team has a dog in the fight. The computer guy, Zeke, he's agoraphobic, and he has something going on with him. Margaret, she's like the one that kind of tells if everybody telling the truth, because I'm assuming she's like the psychologist or therapist or whatever of the group. So she has a dog in the fight. Her son went missing when he was like, I want to say maybe like 5 or 8 or something like that. I can't remember. the guy that handles like the action and or whatever, Rana, Don, whatever his name was, I can't remember. But he's the one that handles, the physical aspect of everything. He had his whole personal battle, and we know Gabby and Lacey's whole shtick or deal with them being kidnapped 20 years ago. So I love that with this show, they find missing people, but they all have a dog in the fight. So it's not just random people. Well, we're going to help these people. You know what I'm saying? This is the right thing to do. We're going to help these people. No, everybody has baggage bringing into them and knowing and knowledge of the understanding and the aspect of what's actually going on. Now, this episode, like I said, the pilot really came in and it done some political aspect, but it wasn't heavy handed. It was real truth behind the political aspect, and it wasn't nobody trying to get a message across. It was stuff that we all knew in today's landscape. So I was okay with that. In my opinion, I was totally fine with it. And the episode kind of just goes through us solving the entire case. And Lacey's crisis management team does kind of bend the law a little bit. But when the episode unfolds, you see, I don't want to say she's justified because she's breaking the law, but sometimes you have to color outside the lines to really get your point across or to get things done, because we know that the police chief this episode really wasn't feeling it, because they needed to question the senator's daughter, because somehow she was found, they found her in the park or whatever, but she was found with the missing, the black teenage girl's jacket on. And we find out that they were kidnapped together because the black girl saw her being kidnapped and was going to try to help her, and he ended up taking both of them. And then, long story short, we realized that the senator's son is the reason that his sister got kidnapped and the other girl got kidnapped at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It was the senator's son's fault. And the senator was a little shaky about having Gabby talk to his daughter as well, because he thought she might have been traumatized. And I love the scene of the little girl talking to Gabby. It was like, yeah, he had a spider tattoo and some other freaky things. And she was like, well, can I ask you some more questions? Yeah, I like talking to you. Well, I like talking to you too. And I love having a series with a black female lead. I'm not one of those people who's like, well, I need to see somebody like me on TV. No, if it's a good story, I'm totally behind it, man. Black, white, purple, green, yellow, orange, I don't care. If there's a good story behind it, I don't care who's leading the charge. But Gabby leading this charge, aka Shanola Hampton, she's done a really good job. Look, I'm feeling everything she's saying in this episode, in this series, man. So I am here for it. I'm excited to see how the series unfolds, to kind of dive into everybody's backstory a little bit. I would love to get a little bit more about the team and the detective that's, seemingly helping them, because they do need law enforcement eventually. So I'm excited to see what the detective brings to the table as well. And we know that him and Gabby kind of have a semi on again, off again relationship that they talked about, but we know that she's not pursuing it anymore because she's holding her kidnapper from 20 years ago hostage in her basement, and he's helping her solve the cases. That's freaking, this is great. I feel like that's the foundation, pun intended, because it's called Found, but that's the foundation that's really selling this story for me. One, everybody has a dog in a fight. Two, everybody on the team knows what it's like to either be a part or be around something about being missing or taken or something like that. So everybody has, like I said, everybody has a dog in the fight. And three, we have a kidnap victim taking the kidnapper hostage and becoming the kidnapper herself. And he's helping her solve the cases. Dude, that's mind-boggling, man. I mean, that's like, I don't want to say, it's like the greatest thing in the world, but it's really selling this story for me, and I feel like that's what's going to sell everything around it. Like, we're going to get the individuality of the characters, but that's still the core. A kidnap victim takes her kidnapper hostage, and she becomes the kidnapper, and that's just selling everything for me, man. Like I said, the cases that's going to be one of the things that probably takes place every week. We got a couple cases in each episode, but we're coming to see the cases be solved, but we're also coming to see what's going to play out with Gabby holding her kidnapper hostage, and how everybody's lives kind of change because of the circumstances that happened to them. And I know this is going to be a wonderful story, and I hope we get maybe at least like 4 or 5 seasons out of it. Everything can't last forever, but I'm here for as long as many seasons they want, and they better not cancel it. This is your boy Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button so you can't smash any more. Comment down below, and I'd be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe. Peace out.
Cause I've been working a lot, I think I deserve a shot, I think I deserve a spot. Cause it's been years on this path that I walked, and if I keep going, I pray I'll be at the top.